Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be doing another installment of What's New at the Drugstore 2021. I have a lot of Catrice, a lot of Essence in this video, as well as some new Milani, and lots of things that you guys requested in my last video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, this first product is the Milani No Pore Zone Primer. This retails for $10.99. It claims to have a matte finish, lightweight, silky texture, blurs imperfection, minimizes pores, controls oil, and extends the makeup time. It's enhanced with lily and bamboo extracts, also oil-free. So I believe this is just, what it says is new look, same great formula. So I believe this is just a repackaged primer that they had already had. So it's not necessarily new, but it's new to me. I've never tried this before and it popped up as new on their website. So I thought I'd give it a try and include it in this video. This has your typical very silicone-y type texture with a lot of slip to it, but it does definitely mattify the skin when you put it on. It makes everything look really smooth. That being said, when I wore this on one half of my face and not the other, I noticed absolutely no difference post initial application. So when I first applied it, I was like, wow, my skin looks smooth, it looks matte, took away any of the natural shine that I had. But once I put the foundation on top of both sides, they looked identical. The only way I could see myself using this would be if I was not going to wear any makeup that day and I just wanted something to mattify the skin so I don't look shiny. And when I used to assist on photo shoots and commercials, whenever we had men that would be in front of big lights, we would put a product like this on them just so that they didn't have any of that shine bouncing back. So kind of random, but if you have like a husband or a son or somebody who's gonna have professional photos taken, maybe for their new LinkedIn profile picture or a senior photo, something like this will take away any shininess if they're a naturally shiny person. Just kind of a random side note use for that product. All right, next up are two different foundations that I have been testing over the last week. Let's go ahead and start with the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I got mine in the shade Warm Beige, which is 20, and this is a little bit too light for me. This retails for $11. It claims to be long-wearing, hydrating with a medium buildable coverage. It's made with hyaluronic acid and watermelon seed oil. So this is actually a really beautiful foundation. I enjoy the way that it looks on my skin. I feel like it is long wearing. I would say it's light to medium coverage buildable, but again, with kind of drier skin and fine lines, I don't really like to build coverage so much. If I want a high coverage foundation, I'll buy a high coverage foundation rather than having to build up and layer on the makeup with a foundation like this. So every time I've used it, I've gotten like light to medium coverage, which is fine for a day-to-day. The packaging on this looks really high-end. It's got a glass bottle with a really nice pump and feels really luxurious. However, those of you with really dry skin that see the word hydrating in the title of this foundation are like, ooh, that's right up my alley. I would say this dries down to a semi-matte finish and I don't find it hydrating at all. In fact, on top of dry patches, I feel like I need a primer, something hydrating to go up underneath it because it kind of highlights that texture. So for those of you with dry skin thinking this is going to be a miracle foundation, just be aware of that. And those of you with oily skin looking at the word hydrating being like, no thank you, I'm not even going to try it, maybe rethink that because it really is oily skin friendly. The next face product that I picked up that's on this side of my face is the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. I got mine in the shade Warm Cashew, which is 70. Again, a little bit too light for me. I need to just start going way deeper than I think because I feel like this is a theme where I get foundations that are too light for me. This retails for $6.99. Definitely not the luxurious packaging situation here. It's just kind of very basic squeeze tube applicator, which I don't mind at all. This retails for $6.99. It claims to be pretty and natural. Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation with hyaluronic acid and aloe vera provides a natural medium coverage finish and weightless feel for up to 24 hours, leaving you with the perfect combo of pretty and natural. Again, I would say this is more light to medium coverage. You're not getting a ton of coverage with either of these foundations, and similar to the Catrice, I think the word hydrating is being a little bit overused right now in makeup. This is a bit more hydrating than the Catrice one, but I don't find it to be overly hydrating. It's kind of a normal, maybe normal to semi-matte finish. This one I found did not last quite as long as the Catrice one. It's got that 24-hour wear time claim, and though it did last me most of the day, this one started breaking down before the Catrice one started breaking down. But both lasted a really long time for the consistency that they are. I think it's really hard to have a long-lasting hydrating formula, because typically there's a lot of slip, a lot of dewiness to a true hydrating formula, and that doesn't lend itself for long wear. So I think the fact that both of these claim long wear and hydrating is where the mismatch is a little bit. And as I'm sure you saw when I was applying with a brush, neither went on super glowy or dewy, and all I've done with powder is set kind of my T-zone. I haven't touched over on my cheeks at all with powder, and outside of the highlight there's really no dewiness. It looks pretty matte on my skin. This isn't going to give you sort of like that BB cream finish or the tinted moisturizing finish that at least I anticipated. And if you're trying to decide which one of these is more worth it to check out, I would say the Catrice one impressed me more. Alright, next up we have a new concealer by Makeup Revolution. This really intrigued me because of the claims. This is called the Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer with Vitamin C. So as someone with dark circles under my eyes, having a treatment like that, a vitamin C, a brightening treatment in my concealer, just makes me really excited. So this retails for $10. It's specially formulated to target under eye circles, offering a flexible buildable coverage with a max level hit of vitamin C to actively treat the area as you conceal. So I've got mixed feelings on this one. It does not provide a ton of coverage. I can still see some hollows underneath my eyes, kind of right here, that another concealer would have concealed better, and I don't find it to be particularly buildable. So you're not going to be getting a full coverage concealer for your under eyes with a product like this, which is kind of counterintuitive because they're targeting people with dark under eye circles that probably want a lot of coverage there because they have a lot to cover, but this definitely doesn't fully cover them. That being said, I love, like I said, the fact that it has vitamin C in it. It's a very luminizing formula, really thin in consistency without settling into fine lines. It feels really hydrating and looks really healthy. I think this would be really mature skin friendly. It has a twist up applicator. The first time that I used it, it took quite a while for the product to come out, but ever since then, I've had no issues with the product coming out as I'm twisting. The packaging is really beautiful. It's like this rose gold packaging. You can see how much product you have left, which is kind of nice. And I will continue using this on light makeup days where I don't need that full coverage underneath my eyes, because I love the fact that it has a treatment in it. But on days where I want to wear like a full face of makeup, I can't say this is the one I would be reaching for. All right, next up we have a new face palette by Milani. I've already spoken about this on Instagram because I was so excited about it. It's probably the product in this video I'm most excited about. It's called the Milani All-Inclusive Eye, Cheek, and Face Palette. This is what it looks like. It has a mirror. I won't show you because you'll be blinded by my lights, but the back of this is a mirror, and then you've got everything you need to achieve a full makeup look. Got a matte blush, a luminous blush, which I would say is borderline a highlighter. Then you have an actual highlighter, a bronzer, and then these three eyeshadow colors that all kind of go together. There are 2 different shade offerings on their website. This is only so far offered on Milani's website, but it literally just released, so I'm assuming it'll be rolling out to retailers within the next few weeks. But you have light to medium and medium to deep. So this is the only option for lighter skin tones, and I would say it's geared toward people with light to medium skin tones. If you have a really light complexion or a really fair complexion, I don't know that you would love this as much as I do because of the warmth of the bronzer in particular. That said, I think the highlighter would still work. I think these blushes would still be beautiful, as well as the eyeshadows. So you're really only kind of not using one product, which also could be used as an eyeshadow. I personally really like the warmth of the bronzer. I've been using this a lot. The highlighter is stunning, and I've been reaching for this matte blush more than the glowy blush. I just prefer to use matte blushes because I feel like glowy blushes can kind of highlight the texture that I have kind of in this area. And then these eyeshadows, oh, so pretty. If you want to see the eyeshadows in action, check out my Instagram. I'll link it down below because I'm wearing the eyeshadows in my Instagram reel, but I had another eyeshadow palette in this video to show, so I don't have it on my eyes right now. If I didn't mention, this retails for $14 and is eerily similar to the Charlotte Tilbury face palette that retails for $75. So I definitely recommend this one. All of the products in here are really high quality. If these tones and these shades seem to speak your language, then I think this is a must-have palette. All right, next up is an eyeshadow palette by Essence. It comes in 3 different color options, I believe. I got the Daily Dose of Energy. It has a little closure, which I think is nice because it's not a magnetic closure. Nothing about this feels luxurious, but it is 100% recycled paper. So definite props to sustainable packaging. There's no mirror in here. This is like a little post-it feature. And then you have a 9 eyeshadow pan. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmer shades and 5 matte shades. This is the product I've used the least before this video because it's not really an everyday palette. It's definitely a strong color story, lots of pops of color, not fully every day. So I've only used this a couple of times, but I'll give you my thoughts so far. This retails for $7.99 if I didn't mention it. I feel like as far as the mattes go, the mid-tone mattes, these two really impressed me. I like having this color in here just to kind of set your concealer, but these mid-tone mattes are impressive. I found I had the most trouble with the deep matte shade here. This was a little bit patchy and not super blendable, not my favorite, but the shimmers are really, really nice. They went on really smoothly with just a brush. I didn't have to use my finger, which is rare, and I think that they're really beautiful. I cannot help but draw a comparison between this eyeshadow palette and the Jason Wu eyeshadow palette that was just released because they have the same amount of shades, and this is significantly less expensive, and I feel like it performs very similarly to the Jason Wu one. So if you want a really affordable pop of color in your eyeshadow collection, I think this would be a really good way to go. Like I said, you're gonna get some issues with the darker mattes, but overall you can achieve a lot of really fun looks with this at a really fair price. All right, next up is a highlighter by Catrice. This is the More Than Glow highlighter. I got mine in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. This retails for $6. It's a pressed powder highlight, ultra soft, silky texture, easy to blend, and flattering on all skin tones. So there's definitely a top layer of glitter to get beyond. The first couple of times that I used this, I was like, absolutely not. It's got glitter in it, no thank you. But as I kept using it, that top layer kind of went away and I got to the good stuff, and I love this highlighter, you guys. It is so silky smooth and it is so pigmented and it's super finely milled. It does not highlight texture. It's not one of those unflattering, really grainy highlighters. It reminds me of my Holy Grail Flower Beauty highlighting formula, and I think this is going to be one of my new favorite drugstore highlighters ever. Huge thumbs up for this one. All right, next up we have 2 different lip glosses that were released. I'm gonna start with the one that I don't love. This is the Keep It Full Maxxx XXX Pumping Lip Lacquer by Milani. I got mine in the shade 110 Little Secret, and the shade is really pretty. So this has mango seed oil for deep hydration and hyaluronic filling spheres to enable moisture retention. However, it also has chili pepper resin for next level tingling sensation. So I applied this, and granted it's cold, it's winter, and my lips are drier than usual, but I can typically handle a plumping gloss. Like I don't find them the most comfortable, but I can handle it. This was super uncomfortable on my lips. I would not call it painful by any means, but uncomfortable enough for me to be like, okay, when does this tingling stop? And it's a different tingling than the typical lip plumpers that feel almost like your lips are falling asleep. This felt like chili pepper. It felt like I had just eaten a plateful of super spicy wings. I didn't notice that it actually did any plumping for my lips. So this is a no for me. I'm gonna stick with my OG Milani plumping gloss that is absolutely fantastic, and I'd recommend passing on this one. However, this new one by Catrice, I didn't realize how many of these Catrice products I was really enjoying. So this is the Catrice Powerfull 5 Liquid Lip Balm. It retails for $6 and it's made with a superfood complex of vitamin E, shea butter, green tea, and goji berry extract. It also has hyaluronic acid for a natural volumizing effect. You guys, this is a really hydrating lip gloss. I would say it feels like a cross between a gloss and an oil. It feels really nourishing on the lips. There's nothing sticky about it, and I think that's the slight oil in it that makes it feel really slippery instead of sticky. It does immediately make your lips look plumper. I think that about most lip glosses. I think glosses are just really flattering on the lips, but I love all of the different treatments in here. I love how good this is for your lips. It looks beautiful on its own for just like a natural juicy sheen, but I've layered it today over the Milani Ludicrous Matte Lip Crayon in the shade No Curfew, and it layers really beautifully on top of lipsticks too. So highly recommend this one. And then last but not least, I picked up the Essence Fix and Last 18-Hour Makeup Fixing Spray. This is a quick drying alcohol and oil-free formula that claims to have your makeup last 16 hours. It mattifies the skin while the infused cucumber extract leaves a refreshing and cooling feeling. So I love that this doesn't have oil or alcohol in it. alcohol can be really stripping on the skin, and that's the last thing you want to be spraying on your face. However, the mister on this is just bad. Like, it's so bad. I've tried this several times, like holding it farther away, holding it closer, and it just kind of creates little puddles on your face. And I know I could transfer this into another bottle. I know that I could find ways to make it work, but I'm here to tell you about products that are amazing, products that are worth your money, and a product that you have to buy and then tinker with in order to get it to work properly just isn't my cup of tea. I think there are other setting sprays out there that don't require you to find your own sprayer that would be a better use of money. So I'm gonna say a pass on this one, even though I really like the claims. I just feel like the sprayer is kind of a deal breaker. And that is everything. Those are all the products that I have been busy testing. I am already off to the next set of new launches, including the new CoverGirl Full Coverage Foundation. Lots of new stuff coming your way, so definitely stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one.